So the other day, my wife and I were watching one of our favorite movies, Cool Runnings, and I promise I'm going somewhere with this that could help you tremendously, especially if you struggle with being happy with your body, so don't go anywhere. So in the movie, it's about a Jamaican bobsled team trying to go to the Olympics, and the coach they were using had previously had 2 gold medals stripped away due to cheating. Anyway, towards the end of the movie, the main character, who was one of the bobsledders, asked the coach why he cheated, and I thought the response was powerful, so let me play that for you.
You want to know why I cheated, right?
Yes, I do.
You see, Therese, I'd made winning my whole life. And when you make winning your whole life, you have to keep on winning, no matter what. You understand that?
No, I don't understand, Coach. You had 2 gold medals. You had it all.
Therese, a gold medal is a wonderful thing. But if you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it.
That's honestly one of my favorite quotes from any movie out there, really, and has so much carryover into pretty much everything in life, especially the way you view your body. See, the problem you have is you feel like, well, if you just get the body you want, then you'll be happy and you'll be worthy. But what you're really saying is you don't deserve to be happy now. You're basically saying, I only get to be happy if I'm in some sort of ideal shape that may or may not even be realistic to begin with. But I promise you, if you're not enough without the body you want, you still won't be enough with it either. And I say this as someone who sees it a lot. In fact, honestly, people that are in the best shape often have the worst body images, and nothing's ever enough. And I think the reason for this is, honestly, the result is just never the thing that makes you happy. It's not. Like, it is for a moment. If you get where you want to be, that might feel good, but you're just kind of left with, now what? Where do I go from here? Oftentimes you're still not satisfied, and it's more about the person you become on the inside than it is the result itself. It's fighting through the urge to quit, but persevering. It's overcoming the obstacles. It's discovering you're capable of much more than you thought was possible, both mentally and physically. These are the things that truly change you and make you happy, and something you've got to remember when you get frustrated with the process, you feel like results are too slow, and you start feeling like giving up. It's at those moments, you're at the critical crossroads, that's going to be the difference between continuing to go down the same path of being unhappy because you keep giving up, or pushing through and getting somewhere on the other side and reaping that reward. Those are the things that change you. So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to get in better shape. It's not that there's anything wrong with wanting a better body. It honestly can be quite powerful, and health certainly matters, but please don't believe that it's the missing ingredient that's going to make you happy. There's no such thing as the one thing that will happen that just all of a sudden gives you happiness forever. That comes from within. So I'm telling you, you are enough the way you are, but you can still become a better version of yourself, and I encourage you to do so. I kind of think back to when I first got really serious about fitness and kind of realized how lucky, or maybe luck isn't a good word, maybe fortunate's probably a better word, but I never really worried about how fast my progress should be. I didn't have any expectations for, if I do this, I'll get this result. I didn't stress out about that. I just thought, hey, if I put in work over time, I will change my body and it should improve. How much, I don't know, but it's gonna be better than it was. And I wasn't doing it because I hated my body, but I wanted to make improvements. Now, I'll admit right up front, I did it because I wanted to impress other people, not necessarily anyone in general. I just wanted people to look at my body and be like, wow, this guy is in great shape, right? Like, that was something that drove me, and that's not necessarily a terrible thing. It's not that important. I mean, if you really think about it now that I understand better, nobody actually cares what you look like, myself included. But regardless, all that to say, it's kind of crazy. You kind of tend to think, okay, however I think, however I do things, that's typically what other people probably think as well. And boy, after coaching, around 500 people now, do I ever know that that's not the case. Almost everybody doesn't think like that and thinks the exact opposite, and I think that's a big part of why you struggle so much. You do it not because you love yourself and want to make improvements, you do it because you're trying to hate yourself into better shape, and that's just not going to work. And you create all these expectations of how great you think everything should go. It doesn't go according to plan, you get down, you get frustrated, you go on and off and all over the place, and you never get great results because of it. And everything is just this mad dash to the finish line, never thinking big picture, never appreciating any of the progress you make, and it's just constant frustration and getting down, and there is no happy ending to an unhappy journey. You can't just do stuff you hate and expect things to go well in the long run. And boy, am I really glad that I didn't get caught up in weight or any of that type of stuff, because you know, when I did get started, I put on about 20 pounds relatively quickly. You call it like sympathy weight or whatever you want to call it. So we were having our son, and I just really let things go for a while, and I wasn't lifting or anything at that time. So that 20 pounds was most definitely body fat. And I'm telling you, I was about 180 pounds, and I basically stayed around 180 pounds for the first, I think it was probably about 2 years. I didn't really change much in weight. I just saw quite a bit of body recomposition happening, and I was happy because I was seeing improvements. But if I had gotten so tied to that scale number, it probably would have been a different story. Unfortunately, I never took pictures before I started, and I made that mistake twice. That first time, and then also when I really let things go a number of years later because I got too fed up with the clean eating and everything. That's for a different video. But I got up to 210 pounds at my absolute heaviest, and I never took photos, and a lot of people don't, and you might not either, kind of not being happy, being a little bit embarrassed of where things are, and I get that, but every single person always regrets not taking those starting photos, not only because when you do see changes, it makes you feel proud to look back and display them side by side, that feels good, but it also helps you show that there's progress happening in the long run when it doesn't feel like it's happening in the short run. But even if I look back to my 160 pound self, who was just basically skinny, not really any muscle, not much fat either, but just kind of skinny and average, whatever you want to call it, you may not have this goal, but I always wanted a lot more muscle. That was just something that I wanted. And if you were to compare that 160, and the last time I was 160 pounds was basically right around my show I did in 2019, which is, you know, what is this, maybe 6% body fat? I don't even know. But if you think about the difference there, that's a lot of muscle that I put on in that time. But if you were to show me that photo from the beginning all the way to over a decade of lifting and say, this is all the progress you're gonna make, I probably would have thought, man, that's it? Like that's probably not worth the effort. But thankfully didn't have those expectations. I know it was worth it. I did what I could, and who knows if I would have accomplished everything I've accomplished if I'd gotten so wrapped up in expectations and stressing out about how things are going and worrying about the result. It's just such a terrible place to put yourself. So please let go of this need to know exactly how things are gonna go. Work hard, be consistent, don't try to hate yourself into something that you'll love that is never gonna work, and don't get so wrapped up in the result, because at the end of the day, it's never the result that makes you happy. And I get it, these mindset things are tough, it's gonna take time, but there's a lot of different things that are happening with your mindset that are keeping you from where you wanna be. So I have this video you can check out on top next that has 8 different mindset tips you can utilize to start not only getting better results with your physical goals, but also be happier mentally as well. Otherwise, I think you'll like this bottom video instead, and I'll see you in one of those other videos.